Hey, Shalom. I like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe on Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to entitle this lesson just yet, but it's going to be coming from the vein of, Yahweh Shai receiving his glory, first and foremost, us secondarily. It's going to tie into, being how we got to be in order. We can't get beyond our bridges. It's going to come, this lesson's pretty much going to come in the vein of that, particular spirit, and, I got certain accounts, which pretty much can convey the message of, life lessons and what we ought to, follow, in the sense of, like the scriptures say, the things aforetime are written for our learning, and we through comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? So we have examples of what to do in the Holy Scriptures, and we have examples of what not to do in the Holy Scriptures as well. And, coming down to the wire, it's important and imperative that we, apply these situations and circumstances to our lives, to our lives, to our walk in this faith, within this truth, because, our forefathers didn't go through what they went through for nothing, and we are our forefathers coming back. And, like the saying goes, he that know not his history is doomed to repeat it, so we of the hopeful elect, we understand where we came from, and we understand where we're going, so in between that, which is the present, we got to move accordingly, man. We got to move accordingly. And, the devil's job, Edom's job, spiritual demon Satan, is to knock us off course. His job is to distract us. His job is to get us to move disorderly, right? So let's get into it. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. So what? That tells us that we got to have patience, We know the season in which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is coming in, but we don't know the actual time. But in the meantime, in between times, we gotta occupy till he come, do the work. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, save the Lord Yahweh, until the day I rise up to the prey. It says, because the Lord is the one that's going to rise up to the prey, which are these Edomites, these elites of Edom. Essentially they're the prey. These devils want to make out to believe that we are the prey, but in essence, they are the prey. They are the ones that's going to be hunted when our Lord and Savior comes back. It says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation. So the Lord is going to gather them in the Yahweh's Mashaphat, the valley of Jehoshaphat, the Middle East, in World War III. And we see these war talks, going on. So it's inevitable, it's only a matter of time. It says, and that's the Lord's righteous anger, because essentially the Lord is going to gather these nations to where, they're going to face the Lord. The Lord is sending out he's sending out invites, he's about to have a party. Zephaniah, I believe the first chapter taps into that, right? How the Lord is issuing, he's bidding his guests, so to speak, right? It says, even all my fierce anger for all of the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. That's right. So the Lord's going to destroy all of America, all of Israel, I believe 3/5 of Russia, and surrounding countries. The earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard. All because of the destruction, all because of the wickedness, all because of going against the Holy Scriptures in which the Heavenly Father set from the foundations of the earth. These Edomites are the targets, as well as the other nations, because they all had a hand in our captivity, So we got to wait for the Lord. The Lord got to get his licks off first, right? And I want to bring out this particular scripture, Luke chapter 17. I'm going to start at verse 7. Because, that's why the Lord said, wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey. We're spiritual men. We're not going to go at this devil, these Edomites, carnally, because that's what the Heavenly Father is going to send his son to do. If you find yourself trying to do that, first and foremost, you're attempting to take away the glory from the Lord. Secondarily, you're trying to have a name for yourself. And that's one thing that, the Lord doesn't tolerate, right? But let me get this little quick parable. This is Luke chapter 17. I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, and the Lord said, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you might say unto this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it shall obey you. It says, but which of you having a servant plowing or feeding cattle will say unto him by and by, when he is come from the field, go and sit down to meat? So it's pretty much saying, if you have a servant, that came from doing his work, he coming from the field, go sit down and eat, And it says, and will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself and serve me, till I have eaten and drunken. So here it is. We can't carry on the mindset of, say, all right, yeah, we did work. We worked, we toiled, we was out there on the highways and byways. The work is done. Nah, the work isn't done. The scriptures speak upon, what's that in Isaiah 62:6, I believe. Isaiah 62:6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Now, Jerusalem isn't a praise in the earth yet. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Jerusalem is the Israelites. We're not praised in every land that we were put to shame. We don't have that fame just yet, to where we're on the top of the totem pole, so to speak. So what that tells us, we gotta keep working. We gotta keep working. So going back to this particular scripture, it says when he has come from the field, go and sit down to meat. There's no rest just yet. It says, and will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself and serve me. And that's what we doing. We continuing in the work. Because if you have a servant, yeah, he comes out from the field, but now he got to serve me my meal. Now he got to serve me my plate. In essence, we're serving, Yahweh Shah. We got to bid the elect to the marriage. We got work to do, right? It says, until he's satisfied. It says, and serve me till I have eaten and drunken, and afterward thou shalt eat and drink. So after the Lord is content, after Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is content, then that's when we shall be content. That's when we can eat and drink and be merry. After that point, we got to deal with order. It says, doth he think that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? I trow not. I think not. Because we're doing what we're supposed to do. The Lord pretty much, all right, let me get into it. It says, so likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which is our duty to do. And that's just what it is. We have done which is our duty to do, and the Lord, though it says we are unprofitable servants, the Lord is actually going to grant us the kingdom. The Lord is actually going to grant us the kingdom, which makes us, profitable servants. But even in that, you have unprofitable servants, literally, who was once in his faith, who didn't multiply their talents, and the Lord didn't bless them with the kingdom. And to prove that real quick, I believe it's Matthew the 25th chapter, the 28th verse, I believe. It says Matthew 25:28. It says, take forth the talent from him and give it unto him which have 10 talents. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the Lord will remove the talents that he gave you and give it to another brother. It says, for unto everyone that have shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So there's a balance in the unprofitable servants. But we want to carry, because it's about sincerity. When we go back to Luke 17, and I believe in 10, where it says, so likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which is our duty to do. Because this is about sincerity. We want to work. We want to perform this work, with sincerity, as if we're not doing it just for a reward. We're doing it for the love of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and that's what we're supposed to do as Israelites. For example, if you're a parent, and you have a child, you're not supposed to receive a reward, or some accolades or a pat on the back because you're taking care of your child. That's what you're supposed to do as a parent. That's what you're supposed to do as a parent. So same thing with the Lord. The Lord is just going to please the Lord to please us, because the scriptures also say, for it is your Father's great pleasure to give you the kingdom, so it's going to please the Lord to bless us with the kingdom. So we got to have the understanding and the mindset that, look, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai got to get his meal first. He has to eat first, and a lot of guys that try to, call themselves in this truth, that calls himself in his faith, they try to tell you that Yahweh Shai ain't important, how we ought not to worship Yahweh Shai. Let's call it straight, the Sakari. They say we're not supposed to worship Yahweh Shai. If that's what's the point of the scriptures then? Majority of the scriptures, Yahweh Shai comes in the volume of the book. The Old Testament prophesied of Yahweh Shai. Salakia. The Old Testament prophesied of Yahweh Shai. Without Yahweh Shai, we wouldn't even be able to break down these scriptures. We wouldn't be able to understand these mysteries. But in essence, they don't want Yahweh Shai to get the glory. They want the glory for themselves. Because even when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, he wasn't seeking glory for himself. He was giving the glory to Yahweh, his father. And Yahweh blessed Yahweh Shai, to be able to perform those miracles to where they would believe on him. Because if they believe on him, then in essence, they believed on Yahweh. Right? It says, John chapter 7, verse 18, it says, he that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory. But he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness in him. Matter of fact, let's go up a little bit. This John 7:16, it says, Yahweh Shai answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. So first and foremost, he was giving it to Yahweh, right? It says, if any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of Yahweh or whether I speak of myself, And clearly the Sakari, they're not trying to give no credit to Yahweh Shai. So they're speaking of themselves. So here it is. They're not even in league with the Holy Scriptures in which they find themselves, or they calling themselves trying to teach. It says, verse 18, he that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory. But he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness in him. And you could tell in the content of individuals whether they speaking of their own glory or they speaking of the glory of them that sent them. It's easy. It's easy to discern, right? It's easy to discern because they're either going to take the credit for themselves, or they're going to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So I'm going to read that part again. It says, he that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory. But he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. And the same concept, happened during the time of the Maccabees, because you had two guys, Zacharias and Azarias, in which they were told not to go to war with the opposition, because until I believe Judas and had returned, However, matter of fact, let's get into the story real quick. Let's get into the story. Where should I start? All right, yeah, we're gonna start at this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 5. I'm gonna start at mm, mm, start at 42. It says First Maccabees 5:42. Now when Judas came near the brook, he caused the scribes of the people to remain by the brook, unto whom he gave commandments, saying, Suffer no man to remain in the camp, but let all come to battle. So he went first over unto them, and all the people after him. Then all the heathen, being discomfited before him, cast away their weapons, and fled unto the temple that was at Carnaeum. But they took the city and burned the temple with all that were therein. Thus was Carnaeum subdued, neither could they stand any longer before Judas. It says, Then Judas gathered together all the Israelites that were in the country of Galaad, from the least unto the greatest, even their wives and their children and their stuff, a very great host, to the end they come to the land of Judea. Now when they came unto Ephron, this was a great city in the way as they should go, very well fortified, meaning protected. They could not turn from it, neither on the right hand or the left, but must needs pass through the midst of it. Then they of the city shut them out, and stopped up the gates with stones. Whereupon Judas sent unto them in peaceable manner, saying, Let us pass through your land to go into our own country, and none shall do you any hurt. We will only pass through on foot. Howbeit they would not open unto him. Wherefore Judas commanded a proclamation to be made throughout the host, that every man should pitch his tent in his place where he was. So the soldiers pitched and assaulted the city all that day and all that night, till at the length the city was delivered into his hands, who then slew all the males with the edge of the sword, and razed the city, and took the spoils thereof, and passed through the city over them that were slain. Look at that. He tried to be peaceable about it. But here it is, when you're peace, sometimes people don't respect peace. So now you got to bring forth violence. It's a time and season for every purpose under the heavens, right? And that's how the Lord is, with the underdog. The one who's mainly the aggressor, is the one who usually loses. The one who's humble first, and then got to resort to violence secondarily, the Lord is usually with that person. It says, After this went they over Jordan into the great plain before Bethsan, and Judas gathered together those that came behind, and exhorted the people all the way through, till they came into the land of Judea. So they went up to Mount Zion with joy and gladness, where they offered burnt offerings, because not one of them were slain until they had returned in peace. Now what time as Judas and Jonathan were in the land of Galaad, and Simon his brother in Galilee, before Ptolemaeus, Joseph the son of Zacharias and Azarias, captains of the garrisons, heard of the valiant acts and warlike deeds which they had done. Wherefore they said, Let us also get us a name, and go fight against the heathen that are round about us. So when they had given charge unto the garrison that was with them, they went toward Jamnia. Then came Gorgias and his men out of the city to fight against them. And so it was that Joseph and Azarias were put to flight in pursuit unto the borders of Judea, and there were slain that day of the people of Israel about 2,000 men, all because they didn't follow order and instruction. Judas clearly told them not to go up against the enemy. That was the order that was given. Yet they wanted a name for themselves. It says, Thus was there a great overthrow among the children of Israel, because they were not obedient unto Judas and his brethren, but thought to do some valiant act. That's why order is important. That's why order is important. It says, Moreover, these men can, and that goes back to wait ye upon me until I rise up to the prey. Because, if we try to take matters into our own hands, we will be destroyed. We will be defeated, because the Lord didn't sanction that. The Lord has to be with us in the battle in order for us to win. And the Lord is only going to be with us in battle when he sent his son to go in first. We can't break rank. It says, verse 62, Moreover, these men came out of the seed of those by whose hand deliverance was given unto Israel. Howbeit the man Judas and his brethren were greatly renowned in the sight of all Israel and of all the heathen, wheresoever their name was heard of. insomuch as the people assembled unto them with joyful acclamations. Afterward went Judas forth with his brethren and fought against the children of Esau. So we always be at war with Esau, right? In the land toward the south, where he smote Hebron and the towns thereof, and pulled down the fortress of it, and burnt the towers thereof round about. From thence he removed to go into the land of the Philistines, and passed through Samaria. And at that time certain priests, desirous to show their valor, were slain in battle, for that they went out to fight unadvisedly. You have to be advised. You know, you got to be advised from a person and a man of understanding, a man of experience. And what's our advice? Our advice was these holy scriptures. The Lord said, "Wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey." So what is we of the hopeful elect going to do? Wait until Yahweh Shai rises up to the prey. It says, so Judas turned to Azotus in the land of the Philistines, and when he had pulled down their altars and burned their carved images with fire and spoiled their cities, he returned into the land of Judea. So that's a life lesson right there. That's a valuable lesson right there. That you can't take matters into your own hands unless you're the individual who the Lord is dealing with. When King David was going to war, he what he do? He consulted Yahweh before he went, and then Yahweh gave him the green light, and King David was victorious. Last and final, a story. Let me see. Joshua, that's it. All right, now this is the book of Joshua, chapter 6. Because it's another valuable lesson that could be learned. Going into the story of Achan. Let's see where I want to start. Yeah, because it's going back into during the time of the wall of Jericho, where they compassed it 7 times, and, they blew the trumpets, and, the children of Israel, they were advised, what to do, when they took the city over, right? So let me start at verse 17. This is Joshua chapter 6, verse 17. It says, "And the city shall be accursed, even it, even it, and all that are therein to Yahweh. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent." It says, "And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed." So everything was pretty much accursed. It says, "When you take up the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it." It says, "But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto Yahweh." So the spoils was consecrated unto Yahweh, meaning Yahweh, when they took that city over, all the materials thereof goes to the Lord, right? It says, "They shall come into the treasury of Yahweh." It says, "So the people shouted when the priests blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep, and ass, with the edge of the sword. But Joshua had said unto the 2 men that had spied out the country, Go into the harlot's house, and bring out thence the woman, and all that she hath, as ye swear unto it. And the young men that were spies went in, and brought out Rahab, and her father, and her mother, and her brethren, and all that she had. And they brought out all her kindred, and left them without the camp of Israel. And they burnt the city with fire, and all that was therein, only the silver and the gold and the vessels of brass and iron, they put into the treasury of the house of Yahweh. And Joshua saved Rahab the harlot alive, and her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwelleth in Israel even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. And Joshua adjured them at that time, saying, Cursed be the man before Yahweh that rises up and buildeth the city Jericho. He shall lay the foundation thereof in his firstborn, and in his youngest son shall he set up the gates of it. So Yahweh was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country. But Joshua 7:1, but the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing, right? For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah, took up the accursed thing, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the children of Israel. So he didn't follow instructions. Yeah, he took up the accursed thing. It says, and Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethaven on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And they went up and viewed Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. It says, So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the Lord, and fell to the earth upon the face before the ark of Yahweh, until the eventide, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads. So Israel had lost men that day, and there was a reason why. It says, and Joshua said, and this is why you have to audit your circle. You always have to audit, the brothers that are within your circle. You got to pay attention. You got to watch for the good, and you got to watch for the evil. That's within your camp. That's within your circle, right? Because one particular brother can mess it up for everybody. There could be one spy in the camp that could throw off everybody, right? So it says, and Joshua said, Alas, O Lord Yahweh, wherefore that thou hast at all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us. Would to Most High we have been content and dwelt on the other side Jordan. It says, O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turneth their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ us round, and cut off our name from the earth. And what wilt thou do unto thy great name? And Yahweh said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon the face? Israel have sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. For they have even taken up the accursed thing, and have also stolen, dissembled, also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. So he didn't want the Lord to get his first. It says, Therefore the children of Israel cannot stand before their enemies, but turn their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. And that proves the only way we could overcome this devil, this Edomite, is if we in pocket with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. As long as we follow the orders of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Part of those orders is what? Going out there in the highways and byways and teaching. So if you're not going out there and teaching, how do we expect to overcome this Edomite? How do we expect to receive the kingdom of heaven? That's why the Lord is only dealing with a few choice men, the elect. It says, Up, sanctifying the people, and say, Sanctify yourself against tomorrow, for thus saith the Lord power of Israel. There is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel, thou canst not stand before thy enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you. And that proves that, look, if the Lord don't get rid of the undesirables, if the Lord don't get rid of wicked niggas who call themselves brothers in this truth, we can't get into the kingdom. That's how we got to apply it to today. So the Lord knows those who aren't right. That's why he's going to try the reins. He's going to get them to do or say some dumb shit. They get kicked, and then that's when Israel can move forward progressively. That's why we always got to be in check, right? It says, verse 14, it says, In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which Yahweh taketh shall come according to the families thereof. And the family which Yahweh shall come by households, and the households which Yahweh shall take shall come man by man. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he hath, because he hath transgressed the covenant of Yahweh, and because he hath wrought folly in Israel. So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of Zarhites, and he brought the family of Zarhites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought his household man by man, and Elkun, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken. And Joshua said unto Elkun, my son, give, I pray thee, the glory to the Lord power of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done, hide it not from me. And Elkun answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord power of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonian garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels of weight, then I coveted them. So his eyes got bigger than his stomach, man. That's why the scriptures say, thou shalt not covet. You see something that's not yours, don't take it. Especially when you're under strict commands. It says, coveted them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before Yahweh. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Elkun, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? Yahweh shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So Yahweh turned from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day. And that was a nomen omen, because his name Elkun means trouble, and he troubled Israel that day, so the Lord, stoned him and his family, and then set fire ablaze upon him, man. That's Yahweh. That's the nature of Yahweh. See, people swear that they know the Lord. People think that they know the Lord. They feel like the Lord is all love. Nah, the Lord showcases hate too. The Lord will discipline your ass, And like the scriptures say, the same shall know it after death by pain. You're going to get to know the Lord after death by pain. A lot, 2/3 of our people. So that's why it's important to stay in his spirit. That's why it's important to stay in order. That's why it's important not to seek glorification for yourself. Stay in your lane, play your role. Fall in line. That's it. The moment you find yourself not wanting to fall in line and wanting to seek some type of name for yourself, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to root you out. He's going to root you out. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect. The stories of foretime can be applied to this day, modern day. And, we have examples of whom we ought to follow, and we have examples of whom we not to follow, So discernment should be exercised every day, and Lord willing, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua have mercy upon us all. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Bashem Akakwadash, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.